Nervous tissue is the final type of tissue that we're going to be discussing here today. And really, nervous tissue is composed of two different types of cells. You got neurons, which send the messages. This is the one that when somebody says thinky parts of your brain, you are thinking neurons. These are the things that send messages. They relay information and interpret information. They do their thing. Neuroglia cells are there to support. They're there to give the nutrients. They're there to protect. They are there to insulate. They are there to do their very best so that the neurons can do their things and you can live with the brain. Here is a picture of a neuron. I've labeled the main parts that we really care about for at least AMP1. AMP2, we're going to get in a lot more detail. You're going to actually need to know all the little small bits and pieces. For now, the giant text is all you need to care about. You got the cell body, which has the nucleus, it has the mitochondria, smooth endoplasmic reticulum, rough, etc., has all the organelles in it. But then you got the dendrites. The dendrites receive the message, and if the cell decides it wants to send the message, it's going to send it down the axon. Notice that you have multiple dendrites, but only one axon. So let's put this into practice. Here's an up-close image of a neuron. We got ourselves an axon, we got ourselves some dendrites, and we got ourselves a cell body. Let's try one that's a little bit further away. We got ourselves an axon, we got ourselves some dendrites, and over here, because I've run out of space on that one neuron, there's a cell body there. Now, these neurons are considered excitable, meaning that you can throw electricity at them and they'll send a message down and voila, c'est magnifique. Your muscles are also considered excitable, which explains why when you get tased, that you have an overfiring of your neurons, you have an overfiring of your muscles, and why you fall face forward, or you pretty much fall face forward when getting tased. You activate all your muscles because of all that extra electricity, and all of them at the same time prohibit you to even say, hey, leg, move. You just go boom. With that, let's go ahead and talk about one or two last stuff. Tissue repair. Epithelial cells do pretty darn good job at repairing themselves, but the more fibrous the tissue, the harder it is. The connective tissue has little to no ability. Muscle cells, almost limited ability. You give it a good amputation, it's going to form a fibrous tissue in between the muscle if you're able to reconnect. And then the nervous cells are probably the least able to. Most of your nervous cells, they're there, and if you break them, they're gone. And the ones that are left behind are there to compensate. There's very few neurons that can actually survive and regrow, and that's actually part of your nose, your olfactory smell, your smelling ability, and your taste ability are both examples of regrowing neurons. Aging sucks. It really does. Your ability to pull out nutrients, your ability to get blood flowing properly, your ability to have a metabolic rate just is terrible. Which explains why a lot of your proteins that you see in the extracellular matrix start breaking down, and when you get to the older, it just becomes less and less organized. You become leakier blood-wise, and it's just not fun. And if those of you that have worked geriatrics will know that you have to be extremely delicate with the skin. Very, very delicate with somebody that's really old, because you can easily bruise or hurt. In fact, I've heard of somebody trying to pick somebody up or trying to catch somebody that's falling, and the skin sort of sloughs off as if it were a piece, like a glove. Somebody holding onto a piece of glove, and the glove comes off when you grab them by the glove, type of thing. So that is all that we are going to care about for the nervous tissue, as well as the end of this lecture.